Did AI write the Bible? Why do 66.6% of AI detectors tell me so? I'm feeling anxious about AI detectors. This video has three parts. First, Genesis and AI detectors. Did AI write the Bible? Second, we'll zoom in on the accuracy of AI detectors. And third, should you feel anxious about AI detectors? Plus, what can you do to improve your use of AI in writing? And we have a small gift for you near the end, so stick around. Let's engage.
Take your seat. The human adventure is just beginning.
Almost since AI and AI detectors became a thing, I've noted the naked loathing and vitriol from much of the writing community. That's okay, people can hate what they want. What has bothered me are genre magazines that have taken the stand that anyone who sends in AI generated work will be blacklisted from ever submitting again. I even have a friend whose creative work was rejected as AI generated when they would never do so, and when they replied with, "Look, I keep drafts and logs of my progress, I can show you," that response fell on deaf ears. So, how do they determine if something was created by AI? Well, when it comes to writing, I suspect most use one of dozens of online AI detectors. These range from Grammarly and GPT-0 to CopyLeaks and Quillbot. Now, even if someone knowingly sends in completely AI generated work, I have a big problem with blacklisting, but we'll get to that. Let's start with a simple test I've run every so often since AI detectors were first a thing. I take the first chapter of Genesis, or as much as will fit into any specific AI detector, and I see what results come back. I was surprised early on to see many AI detectors say Genesis was 100% written by AI, and I joked with people that this might explain some things. So, at the beginning of 2025, I ran my tests again. Admittedly, the AI detectors are improving, but even now, when I ran Genesis through 12 different detectors this month, 8 of them found between 11% and 100% of Genesis was AI generated. 8 out of 12 is 66.6%. If you happen to have a strong tendency toward pareidolia, you might take that as a sign of demonic conspiracy and run with it. Now, can you prove this yourself? Yes. In the description, I'll leave links to a dozen AI detectors. I'm not here to shame AI detectors, so you do the work yourself to see which ones either make the mistake of thinking Genesis is AI, or perhaps the ones that have found the truth that is out there. Your choice. Did AI write the Bible? I doubt it. For one thing, Hamlet's soliloquy by Shakespeare, the one that begins to be or not to be, is also flagged by some detectors as between 23% and 62.2% AI generated. Maybe we should find out how AI detectors work. Def?
AI detectors are tools designed to figure out if a piece of text was written by a human or generated by a computer. They do this by looking for patterns in word choice, sentence structure, and how often certain words or phrases appear. When text has unusual patterns, like repeating phrases or overly predictable word pairs, detectors become suspicious that AI might be involved. These systems often rely on large collections of human and AI-written text that they analyze for clues. For example, they might notice if an essay contains words that are rarely used together or if every sentence follows the same structure. While AI detectors have gotten better at spotting machine-generated writing, they aren't perfect. They can make mistakes, especially if the text is written in a style that is very simple or very advanced.
So, Def, can we say specifically what about Genesis might be flagged as AI generated?
Well, the text repeats certain phrases, and God said, "And it was so," in a highly structured, formulaic way. AI detectors may interpret this consistent repetition and straightforward sentence construction as machine-like, flagging it as possibly AI-generated. Additionally, its archaic style, limited vocabulary shifts, and predictable pattern can register as non-human to automated tools.
Wait a minute. I thought AI was stealing all this copyrighted text from people and just using it without permission. And here it turns out that AI detectors rely on limited vocabulary shifts, predictable patterns, and machine like construction to see if it was AI?
Well,
And that brings us to part two, zooming in on the accuracy of AI detectors. Too many people, including teachers, editors, and the general public, act as though AI detectors are infallible, Far from it, as we've just seen. In addition to running Genesis through some detectors, another test I rerun from time to time is to generate text purely using AI and see if I can get a human rating on it. And this is easier than you may think. And no, I'm not using online humanizers. I haven't found that they work very well. Here's a paragraph I had AI write. Detectors easily see it as AI generated. Though overshadowed by more prominent space programs, the DC-X was a genuine attempt to prove that a simpler, fully reusable rocket could reshape spaceflight on a relatively modest budget. The goal was to demonstrate rapid turnaround, minimal ground crew, and an unprecedented level of reliability, trademarks of a vehicle that could drastically cut costs. If successful, it would have not only reduced the financial burden of reaching orbit, but also opened the door to more frequent scientific missions and commercial ventures. Not bad. But if I insert it into another completely human text, it gets by. See the description below for the human text into which I inserted this paragraph. When I inserted it, it makes up about 27% of the text and yet is invisible to the detectors. Interestingly, changing the wording of an AI written paragraph is not as effective as simply surrounding that paragraph with human text. As you can see, AI detectors have some significant weaknesses. I'll also tell you about a method we use commercially at work that fools AI detectors every time. But first, I want to get back to that blacklisting BS. I cringe when I hear about blacklisting writers or disciplining students for using AI, and I fantasize that one of those afflicted will one day have the resources to sue for damages, especially if the accusation is demonstrably false. Look, as a commercial writer with 35 years experience and a significant amount of time using AI in a business setting, I'm telling you, when you catch someone using AI, you're only catching someone who hasn't been shown how to use the tool properly. They're like an art student who just found Photoshop yesterday and thinks they can do graphic design. Another way to look at it, you're only catching the less capable, specifically the ones who are going to need this technology more than anyone else to get good jobs in the future. Personally, I'm old enough to remember when we weren't allowed to use calculators because we had to learn serious engineering with slide rules. I remember when the business I worked at wouldn't use its first computer for accounting because who knows what will happen to those records on a floppy disk. Hey, I'm sorry the future came and you're not ready for it, but the next generation is, so let them get on with living it. Anyway, what happened to teachable moments? And here's where I really disagree with magazines blacklisting AI submissions. How do you know who that submission came from? I imagine a number are from beginners whose nascent love of writing was just kindled by finding an AI chatbot they could use to tell stories. Now they're excited about learning to write and joining your community, and you boot stomped all over their dreams. They're never going to be part of your community now. They're never going to support you either. You threw away the only chance you had to talk to them about developing their natural talent and nurturing it. At DreamForge Magazine, we only publish human written stories because that's our mission. But we're not going to spend 1 minute demonizing someone who may come into our fold through experimenting with AI. Now, back to the accuracy of AI detectors. I mentioned at my day job we use AI in ways AI detectors can't spot. That's true, but it's not done to hide our use of AI. In fact, our customers want us to use AI to improve the product we deliver. Fooling an AI detector is just a curious byproduct that fits well as an example in this piece. So, what do? It's a 3-step process or 3 components. First, we have someone who wrote a blog. Maybe they used AI, maybe they did it on their own, maybe it's an AI draft edited by a human, but regardless, it's not up to the customer's branding standards. So we prepare a sample text using previously approved written materials that meet the highest standards for the company. Then we have an AI prompt that directs the AI to compare the approved sample text to the new blog and create a detailed content improvement plan. This is a step-by-step plan that could have many components like maintain active voice, keep sentences under 20 words, use real-world examples, employ calls to action, etc. It also examines the writing style, tone, and use of language. Finally, we have another AI prompt that has the AI take the new blog material and run the content improvement plan on it. The result is a final copy that is up to the branding standards of the company, and the whole thing took a fraction of the time of having an experienced content developer, me, do the same work by hand. In doing this, I've noted that the original copy can be completely generated by AI, and technically the final copy too, but even though no human has touched the text, it will show as 100% or close to 100% human written in the end. Is that a cheat? It's a force multiplier and a time saver. It boosts productivity. It's a calculator instead of a slide rule, a computer instead of a ledger book, Photoshop instead of an airbrush. But in the end, this section was about the accuracy of AI detectors. Def, are they accurate?
As we've seen, AI detectors are far from perfect. They often misclassify text, flagging highly structured, repetitive, or formal writing, like legal documents, religious texts, or even classic literature, as AI generated. This is because these tools rely on patterns and probabilities, not true understanding, and can mistake human creativity or unique writing styles for artificial outputs.
So, should you feel anxious about AI detectors? A little, yes. There is the possibility, whether you are a writer or an artist, that you will run afoul of a gatekeeper who thinks that AI is evil and will soon be purged from society. That's not happening. But in the meantime, these people will cause whatever pain they can in the name of the good. Whoever you are, the real good is to help you learn the extent of your natural talent and then how to bolster your weaknesses and extend your strengths using the tools available in the age you live. One of those tools is AI today, but they will always be changing. And while I'm not advising this for fiction at the moment, and I may change my mind, but if your field is commercial writing, you better learn how to use AI effectively and learn it immediately. At this point, we could no more hire a commercial writer who doesn't know AI than one who proclaims they can only work in longhand on yellow tablets. Now, what can you do to improve your use of AI? Seriously, learn how it works. Asking ChatGPT to write something for you doesn't cut it. There are many beginner courses online at Udemy, Coursera, and the Writer AI Academy. I'll provide links in the description. You can use AI to help brainstorm, find resources, summarize ideas, outline drafts, and suggest wording to get across difficult concepts. You can use it to adjust reading levels, help with search optimization, and as we've seen, maintain consistent branding messages. But don't neglect your own inborn talents, and don't skimp on learning the ins and outs of writing at whatever level or in whatever industry your wordsmithing skills are needed. AI can be a force multiplier, but it can't make the final editorial decisions for you or understand if a piece of writing is brilliant or just a shiny piece of crap. That's all on you. A gift for you. Thank you for staying with me this far. You deserve the great collection of short stories we have in issue 18 of DreamForge Anvil. All human written and more engaging and imaginative than you've seen in a long time. Just go to the link I'm showing on the screen and use the coupon code to get a free digital copy of our latest issue in EPUB, MOBI, and PDF formats. Def, any final thoughts on today's journey into the pitfalls of AI detectors?
What if the Bible was written by the same ancient AI that helped your ancestors build the pyramids?
You heard it here, folks. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Hey, DreamForge Magazine is a science and fantasy fiction magazine founded on the idea that the human adventure is just beginning. Our stories aren't about apocalypse, doom scrolling, or dystopia. Speculative fiction should be the literature of hope, genius, determination, and ideas. And that's what you'll find in our books. We often use the tagline, "In all worlds and times, our tales revolve around those individuals and groups who bring meaning and value to the world, whose actions are of consequence, and whose dreams are the vanguard of things to come." If you love science fiction and fantasy, don't miss out. Support us at the digital or print level on Patreon or at our website. Links will be in the description. A few dollars a month from you helps bring great stories to life.
Until next time, bye-bye.